Welcome to the Odds Breakers, number one place for shared, sharp betting information.
All right, welcome back to our Thanksgiving episode, podcast 59-18. I am your host, Kiev O'Neill. You can tweet me at the Public Dog, or you can tweet us at the Odds Breakers. If you need a sports book this Thanksgiving, we are sponsored by mybookie.ag. Use the promo code TheOddsBreakers for a 50% one-time bonus, and they have reload bonuses available as well. If you'd like to help us out with our costs, we'd love to help you out. Please visit theoddsbreakers.com and become a member or a patron subscriber for $12.99 a month. We will give you our picks before the line moves, as well as the podcast early. If nothing else, please subscribe to our free picks newsletter. My friends, it is Thanksgiving, and it is also very special because it is our 100th episode. That's right. When we started this thing a few years back, we finally got to episode 100, and it's a big one because I worked hard on it. But I'll tell you this. It's a short week. I had to crunch a lot of numbers real quickly, and, I could have tried to get some guests this week. Everyone's busy as hell. So you know what I figured? It's our 100th episode. Let's just do it like we started out, which was pretty much by myself, Some of you listeners out there probably remember when we first started, it was only me, and then we gradually got guests, and then we got some very good guests, and now we kind of became a thing. We have handicappers at the Odds Breakers sending out picks. That's growing. We're looking for more handicappers as well, since we released the newspaper format of our website. It is rolling now with lots of information from some very smart people. So please tweet us or contact us through the website. Man, I love Thanksgiving week. You got the food, you got the wine, you got the beer, you got the football. You got some college basketball sprinkled in as well. So it is one of my favorite holidays, absolutely. And that's why I rushed to get this podcast out a little bit early so you can hear it on Wednesday rather than getting it for Thursday morning, because most people won't be in their cars fighting the traffic, listening to me talk about college football on your way to work. So wanted to make sure you were able to do that rather than have to play it in front of your family. Don't want them to get pissed off at you or anything. I'm sure all of us are a little guilty of having a little bit too much sports on every once in a while, I'm sure. But this is Thanksgiving. We're going to have a full dose of NFL. We are going to have a full dose of college as well. And there are lots of spots, like we mentioned before. Let's get right into it, shall we? We're going to start right in the Big 12 country, my friends. Kansas State versus Iowa State, laying 13 and a half-ish right now. So, have you ever heard the old saying, win one for the Gipper? Well, right now, Bill Schneider of Kansas State is the Gipper. His players love him, but he's a bit on the hot seat. I know they've re-signed him, and I'm not sure if that was more out of respect or if they really thought he was going to stay another 5 years. But you can see some of the local radio over there, and some local sports beat writers are calling for him to retire. Kind of sad, yet maybe it's time to move on. But I'll tell you this, Kansas State hasn't missed a bowl game since 2009. And it did that. That's kind of what this season did to Bill Snyder, put him a little bit on the hot seat. Kansas State, they have a very good defense. They always have a, above average defense, let's say. And, they just never can get over the hump. And that's the problem with this team. And I think people kind of want to see something different, but the players love them. And let's look at who they're playing. Kansas State is playing Iowa State, right? Iowa State's been that awesome upset team. Great story here. They kind of find another gear when they play those big teams. But, Kansas State has a lot to play for here. They finished their last 3 games losing to TCU by only 1 point. Then they beat Kansas. And then they beat Texas Tech outright. Texas Tech is usually the upper echelon of the Big 12. And they were pretty good this year. Kansas State has a nice signature win this year against Oklahoma State. Okay? They only lost to Texas by 5 points as well. Iowa State is not exactly a juggernaut. They allow 5 yards per play, and they only get 5.56 on offense. Whoop-de-doo, right? That's not. There's nothing too significant. A 5-yard difference from your offense per play and defense yards per play. They're also bowl eligible, so there's not like extreme motivation for Iowa State here. Now, Iowa State's strength is their passing game, and Kansas State's strength is stopping the pass. Now, that's what they're not as good against the run. They're better against the pass, allowing only 6.6 yards per attempt. So that's the metrics you got to look at within this game. Iowa's going to try to get the yards, but Kansas State is good at stopping them through the air. So you see that this is a very low total here, 40 points for this game, right? So this fits into our 20% theory if the spread is over 20% of the total, you always take the dog here. Kansas State has a ton to play for. Win one for the Gipper, win one for Bill Schneider, get them to a bowl game. Kansas State plus 14, and why don't you sprinkle on that money line just a little bit. All right, next we have UAB versus Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State's getting 2 points at home. UAB, though, man, they've been a sports bettor's dream this year. Such an amazing story. Coach Bill Clark bringing a team to this level that didn't even exist in 2016. They are the leader of the Conference USA. An 8-3 against the spread. That has been the sports bettor's go-to team. And why the hell would you slow that train down, right? If they win this game, they will go undefeated in their conference. That pretty much sums everything up, right?
Hold up. Hey, for my niggas who be thinking we soft, we don't play. We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off. Hold up. Hey.
All right, Middle Tennessee State is one game from being bowl eligible here. And if Florida International loses their earlier game against Marshall, then it's Middle Tennessee State that goes to represent Conference USA against UAB. Again, that's two possible scenarios that's going to happen here. Two motivational spots. They want a bowl game, and B, if that happens and Marshall wins, they get to go to their championship game. So what's more important to Coach Clark? What do you think? I mean, they just lost to Texas A&M. They didn't even cover the spread. Texas A&M kind of bullied them a little bit. Do they want to be healthy for their championship game? Or are they going to just break themselves at another person's field, attempting to go undefeated? UAB was really banged up after facing Texas A&M last week. And the injury report shows it. Quarterback A.J. Erdley is questionable. Power Rankings has this closer to a pick'em. The motivation here lies, I think, with Middle Tennessee State, and Brett Stockstill is finally healthy. They covered against Kentucky last week. They played a great team. I like it when, Kentucky, I won't say great. They're a very good SEC team this year. And, when a team steps up in class, I like being on them the next game, especially when they cover the spread. I am taking Middle Tennessee State +2 here, fading the Sharp Dream. Maryland versus Penn State. Penn State laying 13.5. So our Big Ten power ratings has this game at Penn State about 13 points, right by the spread. So no value there. But this handicap involves two things that has happened the last 3 weeks. So Penn State's season pretty much crumbled after getting destroyed by Michigan. And Maryland has realized that their backup quarterback, Terrell Pigrome, is better than Kasim Hill. I think so anyway. It showed the last few weeks. Pigrome has a better passer rating and completion percentage so far. It's a small sample size, but it's something. And his poise showed last week versus Ohio State was really, well, I guess really telling. He can also run the ball when needed. He can. I think Maryland has found something the last few weeks, and they are fighting for bowl consideration. On the other hand, Penn State does not have motivation to clean house here. This isn't a rivalry, and Tracy McSorley has to stay healthy for his NFL future. The worst thing he can do is try for those extra yards, tear an ACL or an Achilles, and just be sitting as the injured quarterback coming into the draft that's a little undersized. That'd be a stupid move. Lastly, Maryland can pound the ball well, as you could see last week. 6 yards per carry. That's Penn State's only defensive weakness, really. They're pretty good against the pass, but they allow over 4 yards per rush. This is where Maryland keeps this game very close. And I have a season win total on Maryland, too, so I'm going to be probably a little bit on the money line, too, to cover that. But I'll be bigger on the spread, and I really believe that they're going to cover that easy, plus 13.5. Oklahoma State versus TCU. TCU is getting 5 points. Over-under is at 57. So TCU is trying to be bowl eligible here, right? This should be a huge get-up spot for them, right? There's one major problem. Huge injuries. TCU is missing Sean Robinson for the season, a few weeks back, whatever. And they just lost Michael Collins from the last game against Baylor with a foot injury. He's not going to play. And running back Darius Anderson, their speedster. They also have 2 starting linemen that are now questionable. TCU, the last 3 games they played, could not score more than 16 points. And now they play an Oklahoma State team in a huge letdown spot. Oklahoma State just beat West Virginia, as we saw. The Cowboys beat them at home and has a track record for failing the next game. They do. I think they lost to Baylor after they beat somebody. Let's actually tell you that now that I thought about that. Oklahoma State beat Texas 38-35 and then lost to Baylor. It's in their blood. Now, at least the Horned Frogs here are healthy on defense, and they will need it to win this game. Their defense ranks first in the Big 12. First. A little bit better than Iowa State by very seldom, but very small amount. 5 yards per play is what they allow.